evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending where you are watching us from. We are live again here at Ubuntu channel, and today, the 3rd of February 2023, it's Ubuntu Sports once again. We are here to interact with you and also digest and analyze everything that has to do with the Zambian Super League and everything that has to do with Zambian football. And tonight, joining me on set is Lameck. Lameck, good evening. Welcome to Ubuntu Sports once again.
Yes, good evening, Reuben, and good evening to the viewers. What a beautiful Friday it is.
How has been your week, Lameck?
The week has been good.
All right, we seem to have a technical challenge there with Lameck, but you who join us, Lawrence, good evening. Welcome to Ubuntu Sports.
Good evening, Reuben, and good evening to the viewers.
Good to have you. How has been your week?
A little bit busy here and there, but all the same, looking forward to a footballing weekend as usual.
Great. Lameck, are you back now?
Yes, Reuben, you can ask.
All right, thank you very much. I know you're smiling, all of you, but I just want to deliver the bad news. Our under 20 has lost in a friendly match by 4 goals to 4 goals. Yeah, we've lost 4-2 to Nigeria. Not a good Friday, Lameck.
Yeah, okay. I did not get the question clearly, but I hear you talking about the under 20. A tough match, good for preparing the team for the AFCON. Going into such a big tournament that starts in a few days' time. Nigeria is one of the bigger teams when it comes to junior tournaments. They have a lot of history. They've done a lot on the continent.
Yeah, we can hear you, Lameck.
Can you get me?
Yes, loud and clear. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I was saying that there's a lot that is at stake for Zambia, and them playing against a team, a top tier team such as Nigeria, is a positive to us. Yes, we may have lost today, but there are a lot of positives we can pick from. I think the loss should give homework to the coaches on where the loopholes are in the team, and going into the tournament, we need to, seal those loopholes as we try and fight to retain the under 20 crown.
Thanks, Lawrence. We've allowed 4 goals in this friendly match. Is it something that our coaches should begin to worry over our defense?
I don't think there is any cause for alarm at this stage. It was a good game. Kudos to Faz for pulling off such a high-profile friendly a few days before the tournament starts, and also it's interesting to see that even if remember we were traveling. I think we arrived in Nigeria. Is it yesterday? If I'm not mistaken, we should have arrived in Nigeria yesterday, and today we're playing a game. Look at how tired the players were, but we still managed to pull up a good performance. Managed to score 2 goals, which is a positive for me. Allowing 4 goals, well, it has happened, and we were away also, and. Nigeria is a very big team, as I should say, and we gave them a good run. We were not a walkover per se. We gave them a good run, and that is a positive for me. And it's just a matter of building from there, and seeing to it that the mistakes, or maybe where we were lagging in this game, we polish up in preparation for the actual tournament coming up in a few days' time.
All right. Last week, I posed a question to Lameck. We all understand the coach for the under 20 national team is Chisimbewa, who is also the coach for Red Arrows, and Red Arrows have been struggling for some time. Now that the coach is not with the team, do you think Red Arrows will continue picking maximum points in the league?
I think it's a little bit unfair that we deprive a club of their coach and for national duty. Anyway, it's high time we made sure that each and every level of our team should have their own coach, unlike the current situation where we have to borrow a coach from this club or that club and things like that. I think we should do away with that because it affects the league per se when one of the clubs is deprived of their coach and they have to rely on their assistant and all that. Um, we had this discussion, if I'm not mistaken, sometime last year, where we're talking about having permanent coaches for all the levels of the national team, so that they are able to work with the team throughout. And I think Lameck was going to come back, had mentioned to say probably it's an issue of funding and things like that. We should remember that FAS is trying its level best to generate money so that they can pay coaches at the lower levels, because the government only helps with the national team. That is the national team, the actual national team. That's the senior national team coach salary, and the others FAS has to scratch here and there. That's why probably they are not keeping any coach on a permanent basis, but always on a part-time or allowance-based kind of contract. But I think Red Arrow is suffering and struggling without their coach. They need their coach, so we are depriving one club of that kind of but I don't know if there is some sort of a compensation plan given to the club by FAS when such an occurrence happens every time the coach is away from the club. I don't know, and probably the club has to agree and consent to it, and probably get some sort of incentive as well. But I think it's also affecting the performance of our league in some way.
Great. Thanks for that, Lawrence, and we wish Red Arrows all the best while Chisimud Dalambewe is away with on national duties. It's not easy playing without your coach. Tomorrow they'll
Yeah,
be tomorrow they're away facing Beautycon. Hope they'll pick up maximum points. Don't want them to start blaming. No, we're not picking maximum points because uh, the
we don't
coaches
have
we don't
our
have.
coach.
Yeah, exactly. Um, let's move on. Just a bit in the January transfer market. We've seen Power Dynamos announcing a new striker today. We know that Kennedy Msonda was sold to Yanga
Yeah, yeah,
in Tanzania. Yes, but today
exactly.
they announced the signing of a striker. Are you happy with that? We've seen uh, Andy Boweli joining them, coming from Chambeshi Football Club. Do you think he might help the team? Because from the time that Kennedy left for Tanzania, they have not been scoring goals.
Andy Boyeli comes with some experience in the league, and also having an above average season so far with Chambeshi. He has got I think about 6 goals to his names so far in the league, which is actually a boost, I should say. Um, Talking of if it's a good signing or not, is kind of a little bit tricky right now, because let's remember that Power, since the departure of their main man, Sonda Tuyanga, have not registered any goals since then. And it was a cause for concern. So far, I think the teams that have been trailing Power have a little bit closed up in the gap, looking at where they were before they sold Sonda to Yanga. But um, Boeli comes in with a decent kind of a season from Chambeshi, and it's inspiring. Also, I think it will be an easy fit for him to be with Power, because most a good number of players that he has played with already are at Power, and I don't think it's going to take a long time for him to blend into the team and all that. But to say he's going to directly replace Sonda with the goals that Sonda has banged in for Power so far is one thing that we wait for an answer, and that can be answered only by him on the pitch.
Thanks. Welcome back, Lameck. We're talking about the transfer for Andy Boeli joining Power Dynamos, and we know that Power Dynamos have been struggling with goals from the time that Kennedy left for Yanga. Do you think he might fill up the boots for Kennedy?
For Boeli, a lot is expected from him. He's taking up a task. He pushed so hard to get this move. He wants to play continental football. He's a determined lad at Chambeshi. He was their main man, but there are a lot of factors to him succeeding at Power Dynamos. And if you look at Kennedy, when Kennedy signed for Power Dynamos, he spent a number of seasons before he started clicking. Yes, he was playing week in, week out, but he wasn't the man that we came to know this season. So for Boeli, it may be a similar story, it may be different, but for me, I think Boeli to Power Dynamos may not really be of immediate impact. Power need goals, but where are the goals coming from Power Dynamos? I think it's their midfield. If they sort out their midfield, then they can get the goals. Because I think Joshua Mutale hasn't really ticked together with Mulambia. Mulambia is only getting back to form. So if these two boys can start ticking, then Boeli will definitely succeed at Power Dynamos. You don't need magic, you just need to prepare well. And then, for me, I wish him all the best. I think I may not rate him among the best in the league, but he's one decent lad.
So, Lameck, you are telling us that we should maybe not be surprised if this goal drought at Power continues in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, you don't need to be surprised. Boeli scored 6 goals in as many matches for Chambeshi FC. Yeah, we may talk about the club that is coming from it being Chambeshi. The lower ranked clubs find it difficult to create chances and all of that. So we may give him a benefit of a doubt that okay, he really struggled. He really fought hard to score those 6 goals. But again, for me, okay, this is just my personal opinion. I just feel that he is a good signing for Power Dynamos, but him making an immediate impact, that is something that I feel we may need to give him time. Power fans need to be patient. Succeeding, he may succeed, but he may need a little more patience from the fans and everyone at the club.
I know maybe you're favoring Chadeo. Do you think Chadeo can can pick up the
mantle? Look, for Chideo, he's one player that I think is a good guy. He's a good striker, and in front of goal, he has a decent numbers in front of goal. He's been struggling with injury during his time at Forest Rangers. That has kept him out for the longest of time. But if Power Dynamos can manage to keep Chideo fit, then they have the goals in Chideo, because Chideo can turn games around. For me, he's a proven striker. For Boeli, for me, I feel he's not proven. He is a good lad, but not yet proven.
Great. Unfortunately, Power, they don't have time. If you look at the table, just 2 points difference with Forest Rangers, and the games are coming so fast for them, and they've dropped a lot of points, 4 draws, a lot for a team that wants to win the league. Talking about time, Lameck, I think they don't have time. If they don't pick up points tomorrow, and Forest Rangers win, they lose the top slot.
No, it's not about losing the top slot. The most difficult thing in a league is maintaining your top position. Going on top is not that hard. You pick 3-4 wins in a row, you may find yourself on top of the league, but staying there will be the problem, and is the biggest challenge for many clubs. So Forest may win a number of matches. They may win tomorrow, and then Power loses tomorrow, and then they go top. But what guarantee do we have that Forest to lead the log again after week 23 matches? So That is where, for me, that is where the issue is. For Power Dynamos, let them not put themselves under pressure because they are 2 points ahead of the chasing pack. Let them just focus on the match that is ahead. If they manage to pick a win, let them beat and focus on the next match ahead. It's not about looking at the table and seeing how far you are, how many points you are picking and what distance you've created with the chasing pack. What is important is picking a win in your next match. That should be the focus. For me, I feel that should be the only focus of every club that is, chasing to win the league. Just focus on your next match. If you win this one, focus on the next one. If you win this one, focus on the next one. Yes, you may keep an eye on the table, but because when you find that you are 9 points ahead, you may get reluctant and say, okay, those are 3 matches, so they can't get to us. So the most important, let Power Dynamos focus on the next match, win the next match, focus on the other one. Don't get too excited because the league you still have so many games. There are so many games, a lot can happen. Who knows? Maybe teams such as Prison Leopards can just turn things around, win 10 matches in a row, and find themselves in the top 2 bracket. Who knows? Now, this is the ZS, so anything can happen. In the first round, we saw Chambishi, going about 7-8 games unbeaten. Where are they today? They failed to win in the second round. They're struggling. So there's a lot involved.
Changa Rangers as well.
Yeah, even Changa Rangers, they picked some decent results towards the close of the season, but things have turned around. They are not the Changa that that we are bullying teams in the National League. The Super League is more difficult, and in as much as Forest may win tomorrow, so Forest may win tomorrow and go to top. Power may lose or Power may win tomorrow, and the fight will still go on. What is important is look at the table. Power have drawn 4 straight matches, but they have not lost their first position on the table. So another team may go on top, but the margin isn't so big. And then the consistency among ZSL clubs has always been a problem. So there's always chance that a team may come in. Who knows? Even Red Arrows can come and defend the title if they organize themselves and start picking maximum points. Who knows? There's a lot involved in
this. What's coach Red Arrows for now? Because this is with the boys.
No, Dominic is there. He's spent a lot of time with the team, and then I think the messages from Chisi, Dominic may also have the same messages, and he's someone who has contributed to the successes of the club, winning the league last season. He has contributed immensely. Let's not rule him out. The Arrows bench is not just about Chisi Mbewe. There are people that he works with, and the people that he works with may actually contribute a bigger chunk when you put them together compared to what Chisi would bring. But there's a lot involved. We take no credit away from Chisi. There's a lot that goes on in preparing for a match. And for me, I just feel, the league is still open. What is there just to believe and focus on your next match. Believe and focus, you can do it. And the team that has the most consistency will win the league.
All right. Let's move on to a different topic. Tomorrow there's a double head that Edwin Imboela and a lot of stakeholders have expressed concern in terms of the pitch. Lameck, do you think the pitch is okay during the rain season to hold a double header? We know that pitch, it's floods.
So okay, which other stakeholders have really shown concern on that match? So that is.
I've got friends who are fans of Power Dynamos. They're concerned that they won't have their passing game once that pitch floods, because we all know last year actually it happened. There was we were supposed to have a double head at Edwin Imboela, and the last minute it was, because the pitch was flooded, it was taken to Hero Stadium. But I understand that tomorrow Hero Stadium is booked for an event.
Yeah, in as much as people want to complain on the double header, using a stadium is not free. You understand? So if you want to use an alternative, So you have to think about maybe Nkoloma Stadium, Woodland Stadium, or any other nearest stadiums that are there. So what is the provision of using like Nkoloma Stadium? So those are some of the factors that people don't consider when we want to, we want to criticize some of the decisions being taken.
I think the issue here is on the state of the pitch. We should be looking at what is the best way forward to make sure that
But
this
but but the
annual
pitch but the
occurrence,
pitch was
this annual
approved
occurrence.
by us at the start of the season.
No. It was approved. It's fit enough, yes. But when we have a rain season, the pitch actually floods. It's that kind of a pitch where it becomes waterlogged. That's the issue. We are not saying it's a bad stadium. No, we are saying when it rains heavily, the pitch actually becomes waterlogged. It just disturbs the kind of game you are going to play. So we are looking at what is the way forward, that we should prevent this annual occurrence, because it happens almost every time. And the question that is coming in is whether it is fit enough to host a double header, especially when it becomes waterlogged. I don't know how rainy Lusaka has been today and how it will be tomorrow. I'm not sure. I'm not in Lusaka currently. And if it has been raining heavily in Lusaka, then there is cause for concern.
Yeah, concern should be there, but other factors. Look, changing venues is a whole cumbersome process. It's not as easy as we may just wake up and say, okay, no, we'll change this venue from venue A to venue B. You understand? Because agreements have to come in place. It's not fast to bring agreements in place. So the clubs involved have to communicate with stadium owners of the alternative venues that they want to use. So depending on the agreements, depending on the fees, because that is another cost to the clubs. So Nkwazi in this case would have to go to Red Arrows, pay Red Arrows for a home match. And so they would be forced to go and pay Red Arrows in order for them to play their match at at Nkoloma Stadium, which I feel would be unfair to Nkwazi FC. So there's a lot involved. For me, I feel there's a call for concern on the state of the pitch, and if it would manage to host the double header, but we've had double headers before at the Nkwazi Edwin Imboela Stadium. But again, another thing is that solutions is that clubs need to wake up. We've been average for the longest of time. We've been substandard. We've accepted that standard for the longest of time. We've accepted to use bumpy pitches. We've accepted to use not well maintained pitches for the longest of time. I think this should be a wake up call to clubs, to maintain their pitches, upgrade their pitches. Stadium upgrades are not the most expensive, especially if works are done on the pitch. And I think majority ZSL clubs can manage to work on their playing pitch so that it becomes less waterlogged. A stadium renovation is something else, but working on the pitch, a pitch can be worked on such that it may not become waterlogged, because you apply like a drainage system and all of that. Clubs, I think, can also do that, because the change that has come, it has come to stay. So why should we think about reverting back to the old calendar, which in the long run does not support our clubs that will compete in continental competitions? Because games will be played while the league is towards the end, and then during the breaks. Because if you play from March to somewhere October, and then teams will be playing like the group stages of the CAF Confederation Cup and all of that while the league is on close, means that no rest for the players, which is a negative again on the clubs themselves. Because we've seen complaints in the past where clubs had so many matches to play, such that players got fatigued. Coaches were asking for breaks, which are not possible at the time. So there's a lot involved, but this is just a wake-up call. The Zambia police should come in and help Nkwazi upgrade their stadium, because the facility is used for multiple sport disciplines. For me, that's what I think to say. The double header can go ahead, And then in the long run, let the clubs wake up and, you know, start working now, you know, start sourcing for finances to work on their stadium so that next year we don't have the same problems that we're having today. We need to progress step by step, little by little, until we reach a stage where we can handle the rainy season. Like Super League clubs or National League clubs can handle the rainy season.
I
Thanks.
think
Lawrence,
basically,
yeah.
I agree with Lameck on quite a number of issues that he has brought out, especially when it comes to maintaining the calendar that we have now. Unlike the old way we were doing things, we were kind of out of sync with the outside world. Currently, we are all moving at the same level, and which is a good thing for me. Now, the only problem is that it's not only an issue of the stadium itself, it's everywhere. We only remember the problem that we have when the rains come. Right now, I was seeing videos of Lusaka flooded in some areas and the like, and we'll talk about it now. And next, and once the rains finish, we'll forget about it, and all of us will just go back to normal. And then we'll remember this problem again next rain season when we see floods coming, and then we'll say, "Oh, we even had this last year." And it is the kind of mentality and mindset that we have currently as Zambians, and I think it's one thing that we need to work on, and that talks of the sports stadiums, sports facilities, and the like. Right now, it is the wrong time to work on this issue. We just have to go on. But remember, last year we had this same problem. We said let's go on and then we work on it later, and then later never came, and we are here at the same place, and then with the same kind of a problem, same kind of worries, and again next year we'll have the same problem and the same kind of worries. Then we are not moving. It's high time we developed a planning mindset. We should know the kind of challenges we face and when we face them, and how we can prevent them from happening, and it's a direction we need to take. I think that's what I can submit.
Thanks. We saw FIFA funding funds to upgrade some of the selected stadiums in the country, but unfortunately, again, the pace at which those renovations are taking place, I think that's one of the reasons why Kansanshi Dynamos is using Lumana Stadium. Any latest from that, Lameck? So we can't hear you,
You know, yeah.
Lameck.
In the background, works are progressing. Yeah, the progress may be slow, but progress is being made little by little. You know, I may not want to comment much on the standard of the works that are being done, but you know, work is progressing. Yeah, Kansashi Dynamos have been the most affected because they've had to travel, which is another cost on the team. They've had to travel for their home matches, and then again, they've complained on the state of the pitch at Lumana Stadium, which is not the best in the country. So stadium upgrades are progressing. Looking at you know, the one in Chipata, the DK, you know, there's a lot of hope. The stadium looks good and all of that. Expectations, yeah, we may expect something at the end of the season. I think by the start of next season, I think all stadiums should be ready for use. I think by next season, stadium should be ready for use. Yeah, Kansanshi should soldier on a fight till the end, because right now it's difficult. Because I had hoped that Kansanshi would have taken up, you know, Chidirabombwe. Yeah, the stadium in Chidirabombwe, the Concola Stadium. They could have started using the Concola Stadium, which has a much better pitch compared to the Lumwana Stadium. But there were concerns that why would you take Super League football out of the province, out of the district, and all of that, which was another concern. So opting to play their games in Northwestern Province. But progress is being made. A lot of progress, actually, that has been made so far.
Thanks. As we are coming to the last segment, let's look at the fixtures coming up this weekend. The first game involves NAPSA versus Power Dynamos at Edwin Imboela. NAPSA in recent has been in good form. Opposite direction for Power Dynamos, and not been picking up maximum points. Lawrence, how do you see this game? All right, it seems Lawrence is not getting us there. Lameck, how do you see this game?
I,
Because if NAPSA wins, it opens up the title race.
Yeah, looking at the match, the first round, Power lost, and then we had some one or two complaints from the coach. In fact, NAPSA lost, and then we had a complaint or two from the coach on the match. But it's good that both these teams are playing each other. I think NAPSA are on a high. They've picked decent results at the start of the second round. Power, yeah, they've drawn their first 4 matches in the second round, which is, maybe a negative to them, but this is a big match. And then Perry Mutaba being a former Power coach, a lot is expected from him. But I think NAPSA Stars, it's difficult to predict the match, but Power Dynamos seem to have the upper hand. But again, the pitch may also impact the result, especially on the side of Power Dynamos, because Power are known to play a quick passing game. NAPSA have always been a team that, yeah, they also play a passing game, but not as quick as Power Dynamos. So it's a match that we expect a lot. It will be a tactical match. For a general spectator, it may not be the most entertaining match, which has a lot of flair and all of that. It may be a more tactical match with both teams sizing each other up. And the result for me, I think it may end as a draw, because both teams, a lot is expected, and we want to see what Andy Boele will bring to this Power Dynamos team. A lot has been said about him. He hasn't been, actively training at Chambishi for like 12 to 14 days now. So a lot is expected. The fitness of, Chideyu, fitness of Austin, they are not players that you can rely on because they are not that fit. Together with Boeli, they are not that fit. So a lot is expected from the match, but we'll wait and see what the outcome will be.
Great. Lawrence, are you there now?
I'm not sure why you are not getting me.
Oh, okay. We can hear you now.
Awesome. So I was saying it's a match of opposites. One has won 1 and drawn 4 of the last 5 games, and the other one, that is NAPSA, has drawn 1 and won the other 4 of their last 5 games. So looks seemingly on paper looks like NAPSA is actually on the rise, while Power Dynamos seem to be stagnant for a while. But remember, we just talked about the fact that they've signed a new striker coming into the ranks, and that can also prove a pivotal point. But as Lameck put it, the pitch also will have a say in the matters that will happen at Edwin Imboela.
All right. Let's look at the derby that will be happening in Northwestern. It's Kansanshi Dynamos versus Lumwana Radiant. The province is divided. How do you see that coming out, Lameck?
Yeah, it's a big match for the Northwesterners. For the result, I think Kansanshi Lumwana has always been a tough match, a match of few goals. It hasn't produced so many goals. Another expectation may be even, a 0-0 draw. For me, I would even go for a 0-0 draw. But Lumwana Radiant in the second round have looked more determined. Yes, they haven't won in their last 3 matches, but they look more determined. They're playing with a lot more purpose. For Kansanshi Dynamos, yes, they have 1 win in 6 matches, which is not a very good result. They're coming from a win, but during a derby, form doesn't really count. Like form, if in as much as you are on a 10-game winning run, or you lost your last 5 games, a derby is always different. There's a lot that is expected because a lot of the players play each other. They are competing against each other and all of that. A lot is expected from this match as well. But for me, I think it may be a draw, or may actually go Lumwana Radiant's way. It's a tough match. And Lumwana may actually have the upper hand because of they use the stadium for for their trainings and all of that. So they're more familiar to the stadium compared to Kansanshi Dynamos. That's why I feel they may have an upper hand. In terms of victories, they may have the upper hand of picking a victory compared to Kansanshi. But we cannot rule Kansanshi out. You know, they have built a really good team, and a win is possible for them. It's a really, you know, it's a really tough match, but we wait to see the result tomorrow.
All right, Lameck, if Lumana wins tomorrow, it means the game between Nkana and Chambishi, one of them might go into the relegation zone if you're looking at the table, because Nkana traveling to Chambishi, it's going to be another tough game. Same points, and if Lumana wins, they might push in one of the teams there. And also Kawe Warriors, if Kawe Warriors wins, one of the team might also fall in there. Quite a dramatic game, but it's going to be a battle between Nkana and Changa Rangers.
Yeah, a lot is expected from the Nkana Chambishi game. But if we go back to last season, Chambishi beats Nkana home and away. So for me, I feel Chambishi still have the upper hand. Nkana really have to organize themselves if they are to pick a result in Chambishi, because it is not the easiest of hunting grounds. But Chambishi again may be affected by the loss of their top striker. Yeah, they brought in, I think, 2-3 signings in the January window, but that may not actually have a big impact on the team, considering the positions that they recruited in and all of that. But Lewington Mujembe is under pressure to pick a victory in the second round. He hasn't won in 4 matches. He has a lot of pressure considering his position on the table. There's a lot at stake for him. Fonkana, yeah, it's a big brand, but the brand doesn't play football. Football is not in the field.
And I was just getting something from the Chambishi fans. They were saying, yes, we might struggle in any way in this league, but beating Ghana is not an issue. They've got a strong.
Yeah, you know, they have the right to boast because they beat Ghana last season, and Ghana don't have a say because they were beaten twice last season. But we wait and see. Ghana are playing a very good brand of football. In terms of recruitment, yes, they brought in 2 Congolese players, but an immediate impact, it may be difficult to have an immediate impact at Ghana. A lot is expected, but for me, I give Chambishi have the upper hand in this match. I feel Chambishi have the upper hand.
Thanks. There's a comment from Faniso Nirongo saying, he's asking for the scoreline for Zambia versus Nigeria under 20. We've lost by 4 goals to 2. So those are the results. We've lost. We've been beaten by 4 goals to 2. Lawrence, let's look at the other fixtures coming up tomorrow. It's Cabo Warriors versus Nkwazi. Both teams in the relegation zone.
Yeah, again, this is the second match to happen at Edwin Imboela tomorrow, and it's interesting to see.
Lawrence, let's get it right. So the second match at Edwin Imboela is actually Green Buffaloes and Forest Rangers. Nkwazi is away in Cabo, yes.
Yeah, Nkwazi is away in Cabo. Sorry for that. So we have Nkwazi visiting Cabo Warriors in Cabo, obviously. And for me, looking at the past 3, if I pick the past 3, we are looking at Nkwazi, who have picked up 1 point from their last 3 games, and also Cabo Warriors, who have picked up 4 points from their last 3 games. And on paper, looks like Cabo Warriors are the favorites on this one, and putting in place together with the home advantage that they have, I think rightfully Cabo Warriors should walk away with this one with 3 points on this one, unless otherwise.
Great, gents. We need to accommodate the next program that will be coming through. But before I let you go, Lameck, it's a weekend. Which games are you looking out for, and your closing remarks? We can't hear you, Lameck.
Okay, for me, I'll be at Edwin Imboela Stadium tomorrow, witnessing Green Buffaloes Forest and the NAPSA Power Dynamos match. I think a lot has been said. It's time to act now. So we wait to see how that, changes positions on the table. And, a lot is expected. If victories are to happen tomorrow, a lot to be expected on the table. But, my overall last remarks, I think, for Chisimbewe, there's a lot that the team needs to do in order to get to a position where we can compete for the title. And then the friendly against Nigeria is a positive. I think in the next friendly that they are expected to play against Senegal, I think some changes may be, he may bring in one or two changes which, which he needs to sort. He needs to sort his team out as soon as possible if we are to stand a chance to win anything at the AFCON, Egypt.
Thanks. Let me turn to you, Lawrence.
Okay, I think in the first Super League, for me, I think the interesting match will be between Chambishi and Nkana, because one of them, if not both, might find themselves wallowing in relegation battle if things don't go their way tomorrow. That also depends on the results. On the results in the Northwestern Derby. But when you talk of the fixture for the weekend, for me, in the Club World Cup, where we have, I'm not sure, can you get me, Reuben?
Yes, we can. You're talking about the Club World Cup, and our Ali won it yesterday.
Actually, we have our African giants playing. That is Wydad Casablanca playing Al Hilal of Saudi Arabia, and later on we also have Al Ali playing Seattle Sounders of the from the United States of America, and it's such a honor to see African football competing at such a world stage and doing a fine, like you have mentioned. Al Ali just won their previous game. So we hope that the results keep following Africans, and we put Africa right where it deserves to be in the football world, I should say.
Thanks, James. Thanks, Lawrence. Thanks, Lameck. So, Mr. Nyurongo, just a reminder, we've lost by 4 goals to 2. Otherwise, we've come to the end of Ubuntu Sports. From me, Reuben, who was the host, Lameck and Lawrence, we say good night. See you next week. But if you, we urge you, our viewers, just to stand still, because we're bringing you a different program called Political Friday. Bye-bye.